Kaelo and the song Silk Waterfall. In the heart of the Crystal Basin, where every spoken word falls to the ground like a shiny pebble, lived a young boy named Kaelo. Kaelo was a crystalkin, his skin smooth and warm like sun-baked sea glass, and he lived at the edge of Echo Creek with his grandmother, Elder Miri. Miri was a master weaver who could catch a lullaby in mid-air and turn it into a scarf. Together, they tended the Great Waterfall, a towering curtain of liquid music where every drop chimed like a silver bell. Their job was vital. They caught the falling melodies and wove them into heavy, humming blankets that kept the valley warm against the creeping chill of the mountain air. But today, the Great Waterfall was angry. Instead of a gentle chime, it let out a thunderous crashing roar, a chaotic melody snag that sent musical droplets shattering against the rocks. These C-sharp droplets were no longer light. They fell like heavy lead and felt sharp as broken glass, bruising the air with their discord. Kaelo's friend Pip-Pip, a round marsh puffin with feathers like yellow dandelion fluff, bounced frantically through the tall glass grass. Pip swung his tiny silk net at the escaping notes, but the music was too wild. The stray melodies leaped like frightened silver fish, slipping through the mesh and vanishing into the cold, creeping silence. Elder Miri gripped her walking staff, her face grave as she pointed toward the center of the creek. There stood the moonlight loom, a frame of frozen, glowing beams that spanned the rushing water like a bridge of white fire. "The rhythm has broken, Kaelo," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the clashing chords. "If we do not catch the song before the sun dips, the valley will fall into a great silence, and the frost will never leave." Kaelo felt a shiver run through his glass chest. He was just a student, and the water looked heavy enough to crush his wooden weaving shuttle. Yet, the warmth of his village depended on his hands. With a deep breath that rattled like marbles in a jar, Kaelo stepped onto the moonlight loom. The frozen light groaned beneath his feet, vibrating with the frantic energy of the waterfall. As he reached out, a heavy droplet of C-sharp splashed against his palm, stinging like a jagged diamond and nearly knocking him into the froth. Suddenly, the loom began to thin and crack, dissolving under the weight of the discord. Suddenly, the loom began to thin and crack, dissolving under the weight of the discord. Pip-Pip, seeing Kaelo stumble, dived into the spray, using his small body to buffet the sharpest notes away from Kaelo's face, his yellow feathers damp and heavy as he chirped a warning. Kaelo realized he couldn't just catch the chaos. He had to transform it. As the loom splintered beneath him, he didn't pull away. Instead, he pressed his sea glass palms directly into the jagged, sea-sharp shards. Using his nature as a crystalkin, he let his own internal warmth flow outward, absorbing the sharp discord into his smooth chest. He began to hum a slow, steady pulse. Not a song, but a physical rhythm. The jagged glass notes softened, melting into long, glowing threads of amber sound that anchored the cracking loom. He threw his shuttle with a brave, wide arc, binding the music back into a shimmering, rhythmic pattern. As the first star blinked overhead, the roar of the waterfall softened into a peaceful, rhythmic pulse. Kaelo stepped back onto the grass just as the last beam of the loom vanished, dragging a magnificent blanket that glowed with the light of 1,000 captured songs. Pip chirped a final happy note and tucked his head under a wing, exhausted but warm. Elder Miri draped the singing fabric over Kaelo's shoulders, and the heat of the woven music seeped deep into his crystal skin. The valley didn't fall silent. Instead, it breathed a deep, melodic sigh, tucked safely under a coverlet of golden sound that would hum them all through the night.